Hi, I'm Becca and welcome to my channel. Today I just want to show you how to make these gorgeous folded beads. These aren't my original idea. I saw them in a beading book last week and I thought I'm going to have a go at making these beads. And then I showed the picture of the beads within the book to a friend and she says, oh, they're a bit like these ones. And they were the round ones that she was showing me, which is these. And then the ones that I'd seen, these ones. Well, we said those looked a bit like fortune cookies that you get from the Chinese takeaway, and then it turns out that they were by the same lady, and there's an interesting story behind it all which I'll be popping in the description box, either a link or the name of them, whichever I can manage to find out. But there's lots of different ways. You need very little supplies. This is not the entirety of all the types of ways that you can do these beads. These are just the ones that I've showed you. If I carried on doing every single type of bead version of doing these beads, I'd be here forever and a day, and the video would have been like 3 or 4 hours long, and it's probably already going to be longer than you probably want to watch. But yeah, I'm just going to show you a few different ways of doing them. These ones are just from using some cane slicers. You can use them for both shapes. So for any of these techniques you can use for both of the different shapes of beads. Now this is just with some nice translucent. These ones are with some silver leaf, which I'm going to be showing you, and these are just with some mica powders. I think these ones are probably my favourite because I've got another tray of them on the other side, because these were just an experiment after I'd made these ones, and then I thought I'm going to have a go at making those ones because I talk about it, and then I thought I really need to show you, and then they came out and they were my favourite. So yeah, so let's get started and I'll show you how to make these folded beads. So the first way that we're going to make these beads is by creating a skinny blend and turning it into a bullseye cane. So as you can see, I've got two lovely, well, I'd say lovely about the white, it's white, but I've got a nice fuchsia. This is Sculpey Primo, I think it's fuchsia anyway, yeah, Primo Fuchsia. So that's what I've got with that. I've just kept it as it is because I just want a nice vibrant pink. As you can see, I've managed to get a little flex in it while I've been conditioning clay, but it'll not matter once we've got the skinner blend done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just overlay these, and I'm wanting to keep some of the fuchsia left at this end, and I just want some white at this end. So that's why I'm not doing a full half and half cut like I usually do. Go, like that. And then what I'm wanting to do is I'm doing two different ways, two different beads with the same cane. So I want quite a large cane, so I'm going to put this back over here this way, I think. I'm going to put the white on this one. Let's just take a sliver of this. Let's move it over just a tad. I want it to have the blend, but like I said, I want to retain some of the original colour. And then I probably don't actually need this much white, so I'll take a bit of white off. And we'll have, yeah, we'll go there anyway. So I'm just going to pass this through the pasta machine as it is, just to get them to stick together. Now, if you know how to make a skinner blend, you'll, know what I'm going to do for this next part. That didn't come out very well, did it? Never mind. Right, so just going to try and, there we go, get some sort of idea on my own. Yeah. So I'm going to do this way. This thing with the pasta machine, it can make the clay go in the opposite direction to what you actually want. So I folded it in half, so I've got black clay all over my fingers. I've only conditioned a little bit and it's everywhere already. So I'll fold it in. I'm going to put the folded side into the pasta machine first. See, I've got a little bit of black there. So because I don't want that tint in the white at all, I'm just going to scrape that little bit out. White is absolutely terrible for picking up any other colour, especially when you've got them on your desk already, but I've had to get it ready for the video. But I don't know whether if you've seen the video where I've talked about that I have a separate pasta machine just for my white clay. Because I've just rolled a little bit of this out to make this Skinner blend on the mats, I thought I managed to pick up all the pink and all the black and all that, and a little bit's managed to get in there somehow. So yeah, if you just spot a little bit like that and it bothers you, just pick it out like I've just done. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep folding this and passing it back through the pasta machine until we've got a nice blend. So I'll go and do that off camera and I'll be back in just a second. Right, so as you can see, I've got a lovely Skinner blend here. So I'm going to be turning this into a bullseye cane now. So I'm just going to, a little bit of white on the pink, which I don't want. I'm going to just fold it in half this way, and I'm going to take it down a few settings on my pasta machine. So yeah, I'm not worrying about this little bit here, it'll get blended in when I'm reducing the cane anyway. So I'm just going to take it down a couple of thicknesses. So that's quite a bit long, and that's number 3. I'm going to take it down even further because I want it to have a nice soft blend. So you'll take it down to whatever you're comfortable working with. So obviously, yeah, the thinner that you manage to get the clay, the smoother the transition's going to be. If you just wanted to create a bullseye cane just by wrapping colours round, then that would be perfectly fine. This is just the way that I want to do them. Ooh, I'm going to twirl my white end now. So I think that's a sign for me to say I need to leave it like that. Now there's not as much white in the centre as I would like. So I've got a little bit of a log of white here, and I'm just going to put that in the centre. So I'm going to reduce it down a little bit. I don't want it to too much and then it just to get wasted. Well, you can never waste clay, there's always something to do with it. Right, so round it off, and then I'm just, if you can see it, yeah, you can see me on that. Do that. So I'm going to have an extra bit of white going on now, so that will start off the centre of the cane. But that's a little bit thin, so let's take a bit of, so I don't want to be getting gaps and then air pockets in it. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to roll this up. Now as you can see, it's very, very sticky because the clay is really well conditioned, which is what we want for this type of bead. Now you could make your bullseye cane or just wake an older one up, but what I've found with these beads is the clay needs to be really, really soft so they don't crack when you bend them. So whenever I've been doing them, when I've been doing the sample pieces, I've just made the cane or just a plain clay, which I'll show you next, and done them as in while the clay is really nice and soft. You don't want any cracks in your beads. Oh, it's got a bit thin on that end, never mind, we'll squish it down. So we're up to the normal fuchsia now anyway. There we go. So we've got a nice big cane going on there. So I just want to, all these bags want to go up on each other. And then we just want to take an acrylic block or a coaster if you've not got an acrylic block. And we're wanting to squish any air out with a cane. Okay, so the next one that we want to do is a layer of white. I think it's white, yeah. Right, next one. So now we're just going to do a wrap around just once of just regular white. Let's see, yeah, that'll go all the way around. So I just want to show them on camera. And all the way through. And if you just line up one end of it, and then if you get any overhang, it's just one end that you've got to trim off. There's a little bit of the fuchsia there, so put that on the inside. And then roll it, and then just touch the clay to itself, and you'll get like a registration mark, that you can see, just about there. So you know roughly that's where your clay is going to end. Just put that off. And then if you've got any at the top that you're not wanting, and then just take it around and even it off. When you're reducing this cane, it is going to distort, and you are going to get the outside colours expanding more than the inside. So trying to get any off so you're not wasting your clay beforehand is a good thing, you know, so you can use it for something else. And then we're just going to wrap it with some black. And this is just a regular female black and white that I've been using. Okay. So we'll straighten this off. Do the same again. Now there's not much of an overhang there, so you can just do it this way. Make sure that it joins up. Okay. And again, I've got a bit extra black higher up than the white on this side, so I'm just going to shave those bits off. So plenty of things that you can do with your cane ends. I just like to try and minimise the amount of clay that comes off at the end, because then you can use it for a fresh new cane or something else. You know, you're not having to buy loads and loads of clay when you've got bits that you could have trimmed off to start with. Okay, so I'm going to reduce this down now, because this is a little bit bigger than I'm actually wanting. So I'll speed this up. So I've got that reduced down now, so as you can see here I've got some distortion, so I'm just going to chop that off. So that's what it's going to be like, you know, when we slice it up. Now, depending on how big you want your beads is how thin you make your bullseye cane. I mean, you could wrap some really thin white around a little bit and then put some black on, but I'm going to try and chop the pink and the white out of it and make a separate shade of the pink. But that's something I might do afterwards, you don't need to see me doing that. So I've got that to about 12 inches. Yeah. So I'm going to half that. So I've got 6 inches of for each of the type of bead. Right, so that's there. Right. So we're going to keep this one as our circle, and then this one I'm going to turn into a square. So you just want to roll down it with your rolling pin and turn it on its end and push it down. Don't press too hard because you don't want to make it too small. Unless you want really, really tiny beads, then you know, you'll go for it. You'll make them really, really tiny. I just want them as a decent size so I can show you what I'm doing better. Right, so as you can see, I've got a nice square cane going on there. So both of these canes, that one's stretched out a bit obviously with me rolling it. Now I'm going to show you both of the folds in the same time because obviously I'm using the same cane. Now if you've got some of these market tools for your canes, which are mine what I sell on Etsy, they're a set of 4 and I'm going to be using the smallest set, which is 2.5mm. Now you can slice these even thinner depending on what you're wanting to do with it. I'm just going with these again just for ease so I can show you what I'm doing. So let's like to line it up with the end of the market tool and then make sure at the end that you come straight up to a nice line so that you're going to get an even cut and a measurement. So like that, and then just press down, and then when you take it off you've got all those little ridges that you can slice up now. And then again, same with the round one. Now obviously with a round cane you're going to get some sort of distortion. One, because it's a round cane and when you press down on it it's going to flatten off the edges just a little bit, but we can sort of round them off again. And 2, because the cane is really, really soft. So that's just it, but it's easily remedied. So I've got it right up to the end and I've not gone past a line, so I know that all of my cuts are all going to be the same thickness. Okay, so and I've got them there as well. So let's take the first circle. When I'm doing a circle slice, just round it back up a little bit, but then just try and rock the cane a bit, but don't do it too much because you can end up getting an uneven cut. Right, so I've got 2 of those ones. Let's cut 2 of the squares. Okay. I'll go with the round one first. So as you can see, I'm just going it round like this, just to make it more of a circle. Now if that's not thin enough for your liking, then you'll cut it thinner if you want. This is just what I'm showing you today. Okay, so with the circles you just want to pinch the bottom edges just to up together like this, and you're creating a sort of petal shape. Okay, and then what I like to do with them as I'm doing it, just take my needle tool and just push it down through the bottom, and then I take it up to the end of the needle tool, the handle of it, and it shapes it round. Now if you haven't got a needle tool like this, you could also use a bowl tool. So make your hole, you know, obviously with whatever you're piercing it with, and then you can just take the bowl tool and just put it in there and it'll make that cup for you. So that's quite a chunky bead, but like I said, I'm doing this just so that it's easy for me to show you. So I'll do it one more time. There we go. I'm going to pinch it up and then skewer it down just through the bottom. And then if you're doing it this way with the needle tool, you can use that just to pinch the edges together better, just so they blend, you know, the 2 open edges so that they're more secure. And then you can open them out a little bit more if it's got a bit too closed up for your liking. Okay, so that's the first way of doing it. So that's with the circles. And then the square ones, now these have got a little bit misshapen, so I'm going to just square them out. Just going to take a quick sip of my drink, because all this talking makes my mouth go dry. It's better. Right, so with the squares, you're wanting to get the opposing points, and we're going to be doing them in different ways. Right, so you're going to have these ones we're going to pinch this way, and these ones we're going to bend up. Now the ones that we're bending down this way, in fact let's just make more defined corners. It just makes it a little bit more clear for you. The more you do of these, the easier you find it to do. But when I was first doing them, it was a little bit fiddly. Right, so let's start again. So I'm going to take these 2 points and bring these down here, and then I'm going to make sure that they line up at the bottom. Now, the one thing I forgot to say that you could do at the beginning when you're doing it, put a hole in the middle, right in the middle to start with. You don't have to do it now. I've just found that this is just when it's easiest, and I just realised I've not done it on this one, but I'll show you. So we've got that pinched together there at the bottom, which we want in a point, and then these 2 points here we're just going to curl up and around. Okay, I just noticed there's a little bit of a dint in there, so I'm just using my needle tool just to blend it, and then you'd go through the hole if you've already skewered it beforehand, and then you want to come out at where that point is. Okay, so that's how that one's skewered. Or the other alternatives, so you could go from through this one here and this bit here, so you'd like be going straight through there. Oh, can you see? So yeah, if you go through that way, so you'd be able to put like a little bead in between here if you were doing it that way. Or the other one is just by putting a little hole through the point, but the way I've been doing them is just simply straight through the middle. So it's the same with this one. You could, rather than you just skewing in through the middle, you could just put a little hole right on the tip. So yeah, it just depends on what you want to do with it really. So I'll do this one more time. Get your corners. And then, so if you just want to get your thumb and your pointer finger in opposite directions, and then for me, with me being right-handed, I've been putting the right hand one joining, and then just pinch it, and then for these ones I'm just going to curl up, but we don't want those to join. And I'm just going to skewer through there. And that's all it is to make these beads. Now there's going to be one other way that I'm going to show you how to do them, but I'm going to go get these sliced up and bent before they harden up again, so I don't get any cracking, and then I'll be back in just a second for you to show you the next way. So I'll see you in a minute. Right, the next technique that we're going to use some translucent clay and tint it with just a little bit of a colour, whichever you want to do really, and we're going to use knocking her over. We're going to use some circle and square cutters. Now this is probably a more accurate way of getting a complete shape rather than using a cane, because a cane can distort, whereas if you're using a cutter, you know you're going to get the same size every time that you cut that out, whatever shape you're going to be using. So as you can see, I've already got some clay conditioned here, and I'm only going to be tinting it very, very lightly because I want it to look like glass. So I'm just going to probably add that much in, not a lot really. If it doesn't come out, you know, as though there's a big difference, then I will just slightly add to it. So all I've got to do is just rub this into the clay and get the colour going all the way throughout. So you don't really need to see me doing that. So I'll go and do that and I'll be back in just a second. Right, so we've got our translucent clay nicely tinted. I had to put a couple more little bits of blue in just to get it to this shade. I didn't want it very dark at all. Like I said, I want it to look like sort of a bit like stained glass, but just a really subtle colour. So what we're going to use now is just some circle cutters. Now these are the ones that I've got, these are the ones that I've got in my Etsy shop. You don't have to use these ones, you can use any circle or square cutters that you've got. It's totally up to you, this is just what I'm using. So we'll go with the square ones first. Now because we're doing these ones with a cutter, I can go slightly thinner thickness, you know, sort of on the actual cut. Just simply because it's more regulated shape, whereas when you're slicing a cane, there's always going to be that sort of imperfection into size and thickness and, you know, consistency in your cuts, whereas when you're using cutters, you know you're going to get the same thing every time that you put it through clay. So let's go down. This is number 3. Oh, got a hair in my pasta machine, that'll not do. Yeah, no, it's still a little bit. Let's go for the next one. If it does come out too thin, you can always just fold it back up and roll it back through again. Right, there we go. So got it nice and thin. Let's see if we can. So about there, it's probably 1 or 2 millimeters thick. It's not very thick at all. Right, so we'll put that down. Get it nice and stuck onto my glass mat. Now when you're using plastic cutters, well any cutters really, you need to have some form of release just so that they don't get stuck to the clay, and I like to use water. I know you can use baking powder, I think it's baking powder that you can use. I can't remember now off the top of my head. Usually I have it in my head, but yeah, there's different things that you can dip them in just to stop them from getting stuck. So I'm just going to spray some water onto my mat here. I'm just going to decide which size square to go for. I think I might try and make some teeny tiny ones. We'll try with that. And I've just realised my cutter's not been cleaned since I used it last. I don't want, and it's got some red on it. I don't really want red going into my blue, so I'm just going to give it a quick wipe. As you can see, they come clean really easily, these cutters. There we go. So I'm dipping it into the water. Just make sure you're actually seeing what I'm doing. Press it down. And while I'm here, I will do the circles as well. Oop. And go and knock them all over. See, they're good for stacking as long as you don't go and knock them. So I want to get them roughly around about the same sort of size as the, yeah, so look at that one. So I'll put this up and then I'll do the rest off camera like I did before. So I'm going to square ones. So with any cutter you might get these like fluffy bits going along the edges. That's just simply just because the cutting edge is not like completely pointed like say what a knife is, but it's really thin, but it's still got that little bit of an edge to it. So whenever you get anything like that, you can just take your finger and rub along the side and it'll just make it stick back down to where the clay. Now again, with these ones I'd recommend that you put a hole in the centre if that's where you know that where you're wanting to skewer your beads. Now if you don't know, you can drill them afterwards, but with these being a lot thinner than the other ones, I'd be a bit dubious over them breaking. So it's up to you what you want to do with them, but this is just what I've been doing with mine. So try and get a hold of it how we did before. You can see, there we go. So try and get the points to meet up and then just bend these 2 points the other way. Okay, and then the other tip that I can probably give you with these, if you've got a thin knitting needle or something like that, you can put that through, you know, so it's about the rough diameter of inside the bead. Probably see it better there, and it will hold it in place. And this way you can tweak the little top parts, you can pinch the bottom just to get it exactly how you want, and then just pull that out, and then just go back through with your needle tool, and if you can look from the edge, just trying to get it so you can see what I'm doing, and then come through the point, just like so. So then you've got some really teeny tiny versions of our beads. Now, as you can see there, it had just separated just a little bit. So this is the time where you can just spend just to make sure that it's all stuck and it's not going to move anywhere. So, and then just slide it off, and then you've got your little bead. And then the same in the circle. Then just go around the edges. And then pinch the bottom. And then I've been rolling it just a little bit, just to sort of warm up the join, just to make sure that it sticks. And then go through this way. Okay. And that's all I'm going to do with these. Now I think these are going to be slightly smaller than the cane slices that I've been doing, but you can do them in any size. You could even do them in the, like in a really big circle size, and then you can make some nice earrings from them. So that's another option. You don't have to do them as small beads. You can make them as statement beads, you know, just to put in as a feature of a jewellery piece, or whether if you want to make them into a pair of earrings and you like big chunky jewellery. So you don't have to do them really small. This is just what I'm doing. So I'm going to go and make some more of these, and I'll be back with the next type. Right, so this is going to be the last version of how I'm doing these beads today that I'm showing you. So you just need some plain white, or any plain colour really, to be honest. I'm just going for white because you'll be able to see the difference of the colours that I'm going to put on. A lot of the colours that you can use on black clay or any other ones really. I just thought this might stand out more for you to be able to see what I'm doing. So again, we're just going to be punching out our shapes like we have done for all of the other ones. So you've seen me do these lots of times already, but this is just the one other way that I want to show you, because honestly I have made so many of these beads now. I'm getting ready, I'll need to glaze them all, but I'm getting ready that I want to bead with them now. So yeah, I want to just show you what I can do with them then afterwards. Right, so I'll just take these ones up for now. Okay, so I'm going to do, no, we'll do the round ones first. Am I in? Yeah, I'm in. So I'm doing the edges like I have been doing, and then I'm going to pinch, let's go that way, like we've been doing. And then, where's my needle tool gone? It's gone walkies. Oh, there it is. And skewer it. Well then, once we've skewered it that way, and turn it back around. Probably go the other way, I just thought it'd be a bit easier doing it like this. So then I've already got the hole where I want it to come out. So as you can see in there, that's just where I'm coming out of. Now there's different things that you can use. Now you can either use mica powders, these are just like loose mica powders, or you can use soft pastels, chalk pastels, chalks, eyeshadow, anything that's got a nice colour to it. What are these ones? Oh, these are home white watercolour pastels, you could use those as well. Whatever you want to use, you can use. So I'm going to go with some of these because I've got some lovely colours. Let's do something different, because quite a lot of these have got pinks and reds and things. Shall we do some green? Let's do some green. Grass green? I don't know. See if there's another one. This was a set of mica powders that I got from Amazon. I think it was about £15 when I got it, and I've had them a few years now. And there's definitely a lot of different colours in it. so they're good fun to use. Let's see what's this one. Oh, we've got a grass green or fruit green. Sort of, terrible making decisions. So we'll go with, no, we'll go with fruit green. Oh dear. Right, let me just move that out of the way because I'm making impressions on it with all my stuff. So you've got your bead on the end of your needle tool. If you're not using a needle tool, you could also use a toothpick. That'd be a good thing for you to use. And you just need a fine paintbrush. And just dip it into the colour and then knock to, you don't want to have too much and then it goes absolutely everywhere. So here we go. And then we're just going to dab it. So you need very little for these, and you can just blend the colour coming out. Now all of these ones that have got what I'd call a treatment on them are going to definitely need glazing, simply because the colour's going to rub off if you don't glaze it with anything. So that's the round one. So I think they look like some lovely beads, and you could actually put some indents into them. You also like veins, so they look more like leaves and things. So it's up to you. Right, I'll get a wet wipe because I don't want the colour to go everywhere. And as you probably know, with white clay, colour sticks to it. So this is a handy thing I have in my studio. Some baby wipes. A lot of things can be wiped up with baby wipes, so another square one now. Now with this one, it depends on how you're wanting to colour them. So you could colour the points, you could, the top points, or you could colour the bottom point, or you could do like the inside of the curls. So I've got my centre in. I have found it a lot easier doing it like I can do it with just my fingers, but I find with this one I can be a little bit more accurate and get it so that it's positioned exactly how I want it to be. So if you've not got any of these sorts of needles, you can also use, again, a toothpick, an embossing tool, just something that's really thin that you could use. Right, let's do that. I'll pull it up like we have been doing. Now the good thing about doing them this way, you don't have to have any other colour clay. So you could have just got black and white or whatever, and you can make them whatever colour you want, because you can get different eyeshadows which are like mica shift eyeshadows. I got mine off, where did I get them? AliExpress, I think I got them off. I'll show you them in a second, I've got them in a separate drawer. But yeah, anything that's like that, and work out whether if it goes well with the white clay or a black clay beforehand, and then you know which it's going to work best with if you're doing this technique. So right, so with these ones I think I'm going to do these top spikes, well, kills. So it goes down from the colour down into white, and you can just blow the excess off. Oh, you could even colour the entire thing and you get a nice range of colours just by doing it this way. These colours will also tint your clay as well, so if you wanted to put some of these colours within the clay when you're conditioning it, it will put the tint within the clay as well. So yeah, take that one off. And then go through the bottom like we've been doing. There we go. Like I said, these are going to want glazing, so whatever way you would like to glaze your beads, you know, is going to be the best one for you, because whatever works best for you is what you need to do. So there we go. I'll try and hold it up so it You can just see, you can see more colour on these ones in person, I think, really, than what you can see on the camera. So yeah, I've just kept the bottom tip just so that it's white. But like I say, you could colour the entire thing, and you could do them in all different colours, or you could use multiple colours on each bead. So you could say you could have a green and a blue, or a green and a purple, something like that. It's totally up to you as to what you want to do with them. So I'm going to go off now and make some more of these, bake them, and I'll come back and I'll show you all the beads that I've been making. I just realised I didn't show you these, and I said I was going to show you them. These are just some of the Mica Shift colours that I got from AliExpress, but I know Temu, Wish, all those sort of places do these. And you just basically search for Mica Shift eyeshadows or powders. You can get some of these ones open. Oh, hang on, I must not have used that one. Or I've not got much strength of hands today. But these are, I mean, you put it onto your clay and it will change colour whatever direction it's looked at, and plus depending on whatever colour clay you put it on will have a different effect. So if you're using, say, black clay, it will look different to what it will if you're using a white clay. Or say if you're using, I don't know, so like say if you're using a blue clay and you're putting a green one on, it's going to look different to what it looks like on another clay compared to it. So that's it. So if you've got something like that, just play around and find around the way that you want your beads to look, and there's endless possibilities. So now I've told you that, I really will go off and finish some other ones, so I'll be back in a minute. Bye. Right, I've got them all baked and I'm ready to bead with them now, apart from that I need to glaze some of them. As you can see, I've been very, very busy making lots and lots of these folded beads, and I just can't wait to get going with them. The only one I wasn't too impressed with was this one that I used the translucent clay in. Now these were the first ones that I used with translucent. I don't know how well you can sort of tell from that, but they've got an opaqueness to them, so once they're glazed then they will look more like glass. But this time is the first time that I've used a Sculpey milky sort of colour. I think, yeah, it was Sculpey that I used, and it was a pastel one. And the amount that I had to put in, it still looked the same as what this did when I was making those ones, but yet that one's not got the opaqueness to it. So whether if that is part of it being a paler pastel colour, I'm not too sure how it works. But yeah, I think these ones are actually tinted with I think they were actually female when I did these ones. I can't remember just, but yeah. So if you're using one of these like pastel-y colours, just be careful when you're doing it, because I was adding more colour to it because it didn't look like it was tinting it at all. So I just gradually did it as I explained, and yeah, the clay looked like what this one did before baking, and then when they've come out baked, they've gone like this. So yeah, that's the probably the only one that I'm a bit disappointed. I mean, they're still nice beads, I can still use them, they're just not the style that I wanted to do. Now I did glaze some beads already, and this is one of them glaze. I'll just see if you can see. So it's got that shine to it now, and then I've just done some of the ones with the crackle on that we did. Now the gloss that I use now is, don't know whether if this is how you pronounce it, Vallejo Gloss Water-Based Polyurethane Varnish. Now in the UK, there's, well, I've not been able to find big pots of this within the DIY sort of shops, but I found this in a model painting shop, and they did a little bottle and then they did the big one as well. And I just basically decanted it into this little jar so it's easier for me to use. Don't think I actually put any water in, but you can mix it with some water to make it go further. But I like my beads to be nice and shiny if I'm glossing them. So I'll just show you. I'll make a little bit of space because we've got that much going on. So all we need to do, if you've just got a piece of Oasis or some like polystyrene like this, and some cocktail sticks, or double-ended pins if you've got anything like that, but this is just what I use. Right, let's do, we'll do one of the purple ones or the other gloss ones. Now the reason I'm skewering it from this way, because when you're doing these cup ones you don't want it to be holding up from that way, because all the gloss will go down into that little dip and you don't want that because then you'll not be able to bead with it. So if you pop it in that way, and then that way, all I do is just dip it in and then tap on the side to get any excess off. You can always give them more than one coating, but if you just try and get off as much excess as you can, and then you just leave them to dry. Small ones, they can be dried pretty quickly. I've left these overnight and they're fine, but oh, good job I put that lid on then. So, but these ones now I can just twist the stick and I've got a beautiful bead there. So, and then I can just reuse this cocktail stick. But yeah, none of that silver leaf is going to rub off now. Yeah, they're just on these. So these are the ones that you saw me making with the mica powder. Now these are the ones where I've just dusted like the inside and just the top of these ones. Now these ones are some of the mica shift powders that I showed you in that little drawer that I've got. Now I've not done many of these, I just wanted to just show you what basically I meant with the mica shift. Now I like these ones a lot, so I'm probably going to be making some more of these. But it goes from, this one goes from a purple to a green. I don't know how well you can see on there. I just think that's really nice. And yeah, so those definitely need glazing, so none of that mica shift comes off of the beads, you know, like when they're being worn or anything like that. So yeah, as you can see, I've got a lot to get glazed, but it'll not take, well, hopefully it'll not take me too long, and then I can get beading with it all. So if you liked the video, if you could give me a thumbs up, that'd be appreciated. And if you've not subscribed, if you consider subscribing, that'd be appreciated too. And click the notifications bell, and then you'll never miss out on a video when I upload a new one. If you've got any questions, please feel free to ask me. I'm always happy to answer them. And I shall come back next time with something new for you. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again. Bye.